Hello, hi, Dr. Sneha.
Hello, Dr. Nirali.
Thank you so much for taking out time for a busy schedule. I pretty much appreciate it. So, before starting with the
Thank
session,
you.
you're welcome, ma'am. So, before starting with the session, I would like to introduce Dr. Sneha, who's a consultant periodontist. Periodontist is basically a child specialist. So she deals with child patients in the field of dentistry, pan Mumbai. She has her own chain of clinics in Mumbai, which basically are three right now. And she's a senior to me, and I was working under her, and she's doing great in her career. She's very much renowned as a periodontist. And today I'll be asking certain questions regarding the same. So, ma'am, I just wanted to know that how do you manage the clinic and your consultation in other different clinics?
First of all, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for the generous words that you have been speaking. And clinic and consultations is a little difficult to manage. I really have to, schedule appointments according to my clinic appointments. So there are always, so I'm like, as a consultant, it's like I'm always on a roll. So I have patients lined up, I have clinics lined up. So I have to, actually give some times in the mornings for the consultation, and then I have my clinics in the evening with a lot of buffer in between, so that I have to travel to places and come back. So yeah, it's a struggle, but I'm just still learning, trying to manage and cope up with everything.
Ma'am, that's such a grounded thing about you. I mean, you are doing so great in dentistry, and yet you are saying it's a struggle, and you are saying that you are still learning. It's a very good thing to take
Yes.
from something is so
No,
big.
but I think there's a reason we call it a dental practice, because I think all of us are still learning. It's never enough.
True, ma'am. True. So, ma'am, I would like to know how do you actually market your own practice? Like, is it word of mouth or something which you do in person?
Frankly, as of now, I'm totally dependent on word of mouth.
Hmm.
And I've been exposed to this digital marketing recently. I've been in touch with a few freelancers, but nothing concrete as such. I'm still looking at, like the different ideas, and I'm talking to people. Hopefully soon we may, have a tie-up or collaboration with someone and come up with some new digital marketing stuff.
Okay, ma'am. If it's not too much, you can still consider me.
Sure,
I'll send my
definitely.
resume. Um,
Definitely. You don't need a resume, Dr. Nirali.
that's sweet of you, ma'am. So, ma'am, I wanted to ask, like, can you elaborate about your journey, like from your college to where you are right now today as a consultant, have your own clinic, like if you can elaborate a little bit.
So my journey as a dentist started in 2000. I've been studying BDS for 5 years, and I went on to pursue my post graduation for 3 years. And then I started with my consultation. So to start with, I really had a few clinics tied up to me. And eventually, so the word of mouth, as I said, as of now, I'm just dependent on that. So through the word of mouth, through references from the dentist, I developed around a good consultation. And eventually I ended up having around 35 to 40 clinics in Mumbai as a consultant. And then finally I decided, let's just settle down somewhere and start up our own practice. And eventually then we started with one branch, and then now it's up to three. Like the third one is recently opened. So
Congratulations.
yeah, yeah, thank you so much. See, hoping to expand further.
Wow, all the best for that, ma'am. Pretty much
Thank you so much.
like, do you have associate dentist at your clinic, and like when you are as a consultant, how do you do it?
Yes, so we have 3 to 4 periodontists working with us, and also we have non-teaching, like a non-clinical staff to assist them in all clinics.
Okay.
So if I am not available, an associate looks up the case. And actually, we have pretty much sorted and we have divided the cases. But in case if there's an emergency, there's always somebody available to, like attend a patient.
So that's a very nice way of managing your own clinic, I guess, then, because I also know for sure that it's difficult when you have a single clinic, it's obviously difficult. But when you have three clinics and you work and are tied up to many hospitals and other clinics, it's more difficult. I'm pretty much sure.
Yes.
So, ma'am, how do you try to be different from your competitors? Like, how you stand out that people prefer you over other people?
See, it's about the quality of work that you give. It's about how you manage patient, how you communicate with them. So so these days, I think parents are more aware of the dental hygiene, and oral awareness has improved since the last decade. So, and also parents, most of the times when parents come to me, they are themselves more nervous than the kids are, because everybody has this phobia for dental treatment and injections. So it's basically how you counsel the patient and how you treat them, and the quality. And I think basically the quality that uh, you promise the patient and you deliver it, that's what gets you more patients.
Yeah, true. So, ma'am, has there been any case where the kids are very much, not allowing you to do, or the parents are over pampering their kids? So, how do you manage
Yes,
these kind of
yes.
cases?
Yes, so in such cases, I think parents require more counseling than the children. So in the first appointment, what we do is we try to explain the procedure of the treatment, and what behavior management norms are we going to apply, like what are we going to practice, that we ask, like explain it to the parents first, like what maybe I might raise my voice, or maybe we might have to restrain the child if he is behaving violently. So, and maybe I'll just if the child is very apprehensive, we may just skip the invasive or longer procedures towards the second or third appointment, and we can start with a little bit of easier procedure so that the child and the parents get accustomed.
Okay.
So that is how it actually depends on case to case. It's different with every case. So depending on the psychology of the child and how much the parents are agreeing to start with invasive procedures in the first go, the treatment may vary.
So, do you have bad days when these kind of patients turn up? Like, how do you
Oh
manage?
yes, I think every other day is a bad day. So because kids are unpredictable, sometimes we see when we see a child, we don't expect him or her to be that apprehensive, but eventually we realize no, the plan that we had, it's not working for this child, so we might have to immediately skip to some other plan and do it. Yes, so sometimes it goes the appointments become a little hectic.
Okay. And how much is your profession as a periodontist is taking a toll in on your mental health? Is it like, does it affect in a small way or on a larger way?
It's just the work stress. I think it's of course dealing with patients, and having kids as your patient is obviously a stress, and looking at the condition, the medical condition of doctors, that we have facing in today's era. There is obviously a little bit of pressure, because when you deal with kids, you have the whole parents and the whole family and everybody watching you. Slightest of error, and everybody is like it's like you have to give an explanation for every small thing that you do. But once the patient starts trusting you, I think it becomes a little easier. But yeah, of course there is a lot of stress in dealing with patients and delivering the work that we promise to do, and managing patients, managing the appointments. But yeah, I think it's a part and parcel of life. Every job has its own stress.
Yeah.
So,
So, ma'am, listening only to your this schedule, it actually makes me think that like really a hard thing. I mean, it's so easy to say that dentists earn so much, but when it comes to a periodontist, personally, I also think that it's a great toll in terms of physical and especially
yes.
mental health.
Correct.
And so now that, ma'am, I see your journey, it's like pretty, obviously it seems so shiny, but you had your own struggles. But
Yeah.
if if you got to see our generation and yours, is there anything you think that you had done something differently which our generation is not doing, or what as a senior would you recommend to juniors passing out to do?
I think in this time, especially in this COVID era, where I think the students who are passing out are not getting that much of exposure as we got in our BDS MDS times, because the patient flow has reduced in many colleges. People are scared to get their dental treatments done.
Right.
Half during like during the pandemic, half of the time the colleges were shut during the lockdown. So I think what the students right now should focus on is getting more and more practice, getting more and more hands-on of the work. I think so after they pass out, initial 1 year or maybe 2 year, the only aim should be learning new things and not focusing on the material or money aspect more.
Right.
Because eventually you are going to earn, but it comes with experience. If you cannot make the patient pain free, then I don't think anybody would pay for your treatment. So I think more and more patience, like
Right.
both patience in your in your mental patience, and you need patience to work on. So
Just
yeah,
ma'am, can
that
you
is
hold on for 1 second? I'll just come. Yeah, so sorry for that, ma'am.
yeah, no problem.
So one thing I wanted to ask was, why did you choose dentistry and why did you choose periodontist as your MDS? This thing, I mean.
So I personally love kids. That's the main reason that I went for pedo as a specialty. And secondly, I think pedo is the kind of a branch in dentistry where you are practicing everything in dentistry, plus you are a specialty as well. Like as an orthodontist or a prosthodontist, maybe I have some limitations. Of course, people are working hard and doing everything even after MDS and every kind of specialty. But I thought as a pedo, I would have a hand of hand in on everything else, and I won't lose my clinical hand.
Right.
That was a secondary reason, but yeah, majorly because I love kids.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I guess I got a brief idea of how did you start and all, but obviously it's just the tip of the iceberg. I would like to know more. I'll meet you for sure in person.
Surely, Dr.
Getting this
Nirali,
much
anytime.
time from you is a big thing for me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I wish you all the luck.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It means a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.